This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(6:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Prime Minister says that no one is allowed to ruin the national heritage of the country. Basil Rajapaksa will take oaths as a parliamentarian tomorrow. Minister Johnston Fernando says that the government is committed to protect media freedom. Vaccination for all schools, teachers and non-academic staff will begin on Monday. In foreign news, Haitian president killed in attack at home. Sports, the Olympic torch relay has been cancelled on Tokyo's streets as fears over the spread of COVID-19. Local news in detail. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that no one is allowed to ruin the national heritage of the country. Joining the 131st National Archaeological Day at the Temple Trees today, the Prime Minister said that the government is committed to safeguard places of archaeological importance throughout the country. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa also graced this occasion. Somawati Rajamahaviharaya in Polonnaruwa and Riddhi Viharaya in Matale were declared as archaeological research centres at this ceremony. Mr. Basil Rajapaksa will take oaths as a parliamentarian tomorrow. Sergeant-at-Arms Narendra Fernando told the SLBC that the 9th seat in the first row of the governing party has been allocated for him. The Election Commission today published the Gazette Extraordinary declaring SLPP's founder Basil Rajapaksa as a member of the parliament. The Election Commission had directed the relevant documents to the government printing department earlier. Several orders under the Sri Lanka Export Development Act were passed in Parliament today. They were presented to the House by Minister Bandula Gunawardena. Joining the relevant debate, parliamentarian Venerable Athurariya Ratanathero said that the country needs a national export policy that secures local industries. The Thero stressed the need to completely ban the import of ornamental items. Minister Johnston Fernando said that the government is committed to protect media freedom. The government has never questioned any media institutions so far regarding their media behaviour. They are now entertaining full media freedom under the current regime. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
Minister of Plantations, Dr. Ramesh Patirana says the government is confident that the total paddy harvest for the yellow season this year is around 1.5 million metric tons. That's 1.5 million metric tons. The Paddy Marketing Board plans to purchase a significant portion of this. Accordingly, the government intends to implement the paddy purchase program for the 2021 yellow season to maintain sufficient stocks of rice and provide rice to the people at a concessionary price, Dr. Patirana said at the Cabinet media briefing held at the Government Information Department recently. Accordingly, Nadu variety of paddy will be purchased from farmers at guaranteed prices of 50 rupees per kilogram, Samba variety at 52 rupees per kilogram and Kiri Samba paddy at 55 rupees per kilogram. The Ministry of Health reported that another 1,472 patients being treated for COVID-19 have been discharged after completing their recovery within the past 24 hours. This brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country to 238,131. The tally of coronavirus cases reported in Sri Lanka thus far stands at 267,433, while 25,989 of them are currently under medical care. That ends local news, and the main news story follows.
The largest bonus declared in the history of the Sri Lankan insurance industry. Sri Lanka Insurance Grand Bonus, an unmatchable bonus of 8.6 billion rupees only for Sri Lanka Insurance life policy holders from the nation's largest insurer. Call 0112 357 357 for more details. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The government has planned to prioritise vaccination for 279,020 teachers and non-academic staff at schools island-wide in order to expedite the reopening of schools. Accordingly, the vaccination program will begin on Monday. It is to be completed within a week. Vaccination of teachers against COVID-19 will be the initial step of reopening the schools. Schools less than 100 students will be opened at the initial stage. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight this evening, the Royal Norwegian Embassy sources say that the embassy has shifted from its former premises at Bullers Lane, Colombo 7 to an office complex in Colombo 2. The embassy is now located on the 5th floor of the M2M building at number 34 WAD Ramanayaka Mawatha, Colombo 2. Due to the current pandemic situation, a prior appointment is necessary for any consular matter. It is possible to reach the embassy at its regular phone number +94 115 608 700. Once again, +94 115 608 700, or email address emb.colombo@mfa.no or consular.colombo@mfa.no. That came to you in Watchlight, and moving on to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. Haitian president killed in an attack at home. India's Prime Minister is set to expand his cabinet. Taliban battle their way into western Afghan city. World news in detail. Haiti's president Jovenel Moïse has been killed in an attack at his private residence, according to a statement by the interim Prime Minister, Claude Joseph. Mr. Joseph said the president's residence in Port-au-Prince was stormed by unidentified armed men at 1 a.m. local time. The First Lady was also reportedly injured in the attack. Mr. Joseph said that all measures had been taken to guarantee the continuance of the state. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to announce a major cabinet expansion to include several new ministers and portfolios. The move comes ahead of key state elections due next year. The reshuffle is the first since Mr. Modi took office in 2019 and will prioritize candidates with administrative experience, reports say. Mr. Modi's cabinet currently has 52 ministries, but it can be expanded to include up to 81 members. The Taliban have entered a key city in western Afghanistan as they continue a rapid advance before NATO troops leave. All government officials in Kale-e-No, provincial capital of Baghis province, had been moved to a nearby army base, the local governor told the BBC. He said the militants were moving towards the center of the city and there was heavy fighting with government troops. The Taliban gains come as the US and the UK allies withdraw after 20 years. Back to the headlines of the world news. Haitian president killed in an attack at home. India's Prime Minister is set to expand his cabinet. Taliban battle their way into western Afghan city. That ends world news, and on to development news. 47 irrigational tanks in the Mahavali L zone will be developed under the Wari Saubhagya program. A sum of 120 million rupees has been allocated for this project. These tanks will provide water for 5,000 acres of paddy lands to be cultivated in both seasons. That was development news, and on to sports news now. The Olympic torch relay has been cancelled on Tokyo streets as fears over the spread of COVID-19 continue to plague the games. Starting Friday, public relay events in the city will be replaced with flame lighting ceremonies streamed online, the latest setback for the event. Only the leg in the remote Ogasawara Islands south of Tokyo will go ahead as planned, officials said. Tokyo 2020 is due to begin on July 23rd despite public opposition. The National Paralympic Committee, NPC, has named a 5-member contingent which will represent the country at the Paralympic Games scheduled for August-September in Tokyo, Japan. NPC President Lieutenant Colonel Deepal Herat says that they have already submitted the list of athletes who have qualified and have informed the committee that they would confirm their participation following a Zoom meeting next week. The NPC is hoping to obtain at least 3 more slots through the bipartite invitation, and altogether they are planning to field an 8-member squad for the Tokyo Games. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The Cabinet has approved to import sugar and red dal from India and Australia and to sell those through Lanka Satosa and cooperative outlets. The decision has been taken to maintain essential food items in the market without a shortage amid the pandemic. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In economic news, China was the top lender to Sri Lanka for the first 4 months of 2021, disbursing $514.9 million, including a $500 million budget support loan, slightly down from a year earlier, official data shows. In the first 4 months of 2020, China also provided $568.4 million, including a $500 million budget support loan from China Development Bank, which was the first tranche of $1.2 billion loan. Up to April 2021, the World Bank provided $134.4 million in loans and $0.6 million in grants, up from $775 million last year. The Asian Development Bank provided $113.6 million, up from $95.9 million last year. That was economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
In the weather report, the Met Department says the showery condition over the southwestern part of the island and the windy condition over the island and the surrounding sea areas are likely to enhance during the next few days. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western, Sabragamuwa, northwestern, southern and central provinces. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places. Showers or thunder showers may occur at several places in the Uwa and the eastern provinces and in the Mullaitivu district during the evening or at night. That was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
To end this news broadcast, the headlines again. The Prime Minister says that no one is allowed to ruin the national heritage of the country. Basil Rajapaksa will take oaths as a parliamentarian tomorrow. Minister Johnston Fernando says that the government is committed to protect media freedom. Vaccination for all school teachers and non-academic staff will begin on Monday. In news overseas, Haitian president killed in an attack at home. Sports, the Olympic torch relay has been cancelled on Tokyo streets as fears over the spread of COVID-19. That ends this news broadcast.